Wait, what's that?
A load of flowers. And it looks like there's something among...
These are King Deshret runes.
They left something behind.
What does it say?
Here lies our faithful priest Kasala. His wisdom is a miracle among the people, deserving of high praise and admiration.
You can read ancient King Deshret script?
Of course. Every student needs to master at least 20 languages before they graduate.
He's not serious, right?
There's still something off about this place. The elemental energy here is too... the scent of life.
Is this it?
Analyzing.
There seems to be a hidden message among... Excellent. There's a device from King...
Isn't sharing knowledge against the Academia's rules?
Yes. However, under the circumstances, I'd prefer you to see this for yourself. You'll understand after watching it.
Civilization is born of knowledge, but so too can knowledge be its demise. A disaster caught us unaware. It was knowledge that did not belong to this world. King Deshret brought this forbidden knowledge into our world, and it quickly spread like a plague. People's minds were filled with crazed whispers. Dark gray scales spread across their bodies. Even the land was stripped of its vigor. Only a desperate, deathly silence remained. Were it not for greater Lord Rukkhadevata from the forests, the damage would have been irreversible. She summoned the priests to build temples and infused into them the divine power of life. The disaster was miraculously tempered, and the embers of our civilization were preserved in Aru village. Alas, the miracle could not last. As long as forbidden knowledge continued to exist, it would forever blight this world. In the end, the proud king of the desert, my eternal lord, chose to sacrifice himself. I have spent my whole life since guarding one of these many temples. But now, my duty is coming to an end. As I close my eyes for the final time, the sight of that noble deity will appear in my vision once more. In helping King Deshret to eradicate forbidden knowledge, she exhausted her strength, and her form became that of a small child. How strange. Now that I think of her, I no longer have any fear of death, for I sense that the spirit of life will abide with me during my eternal sleep. Children of the desert, cling no longer to past grievances, but hold tight to the memory of this act of benevolence.
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No.
What does it say? What was that? What was that?
You'll understand after...
What was that?
The priest's memories.
No.
Greater Lord Rukkhadevata.
But this doesn't make...
Was that the former...
You might be distrustful of the Akasha. You've just witnessed his...
I've never heard about any of this before. The surviving followers of King Deshret all gathered in Aru village. Our god did not make King Deshret's death. The all but total we saw her as nothing more than a traitor. Who stabbed us in the back in our moment of crisis. Just like us humans.
You were blinded by your prejudice.
If I hadn't seen this for myself, how could I ever begin to accept?
Raman, that's enough. Give it a rest. You're starting to make a fool of yourself.
Dia, tell me, my Aramites and I.
Hey, how you doing?
I'll live. I should probably go. Can't just stay here forever.
What's your next move gonna be?
Oh, I know what you're going to have. But please,
It's not gonna be easy.
well, I guess that's for me to deal with.
When would be a good time for us to go?
Tomorrow, I'll convince everyone that we're all on the same. And I'll return every last one of your your village keepers.
You seem to finally understand that our true enemy is the sages.
Yes, the gods never gave up on anyone.
That must have been rough. But he seems to...
Ramon's no fool. It's too bad he was held back by his belief in King Deshret. But now that that's changed, I guess we have a few more people on our side.
The outcome, at least, is...
We should get going too. Let's head back. Sino, we're leaving!
Stop yelling.
Sand surfing sounds like a blast. You know I'm up for the challenge.
Raman,
Everything's been arranged. Someone will bring the village
I guess all I can say now is... Thanks for
don't mention it. I think... But we share a common...
Where are the perpetrators?
I'll bring you to them.
So these are the people who kidnapped the village keepers.
Oh no, it's the scribe!
There's no need to yell. No one can help.
We've been all over the desert trying to find...
That's right.
General Mahamatra? No, no! Make it quick, please!
Whoa. The moment they set eyes on Sino, they...
You should have known that I would be coming for you.
Wait, we were just following orders. You know what I'm talking about, right? There's no way we could have done...
No, not Sino. He's gonna tear us limb.
I could do worse.
Please have mercy.
Start talking. Otherwise, I'll have to resort to...
So, your superiors have kept you quite busy recently. Why?
They, wanted to extract canned knowledge.
Don't play dumb. You know what I'm real. They extract divine canned knowledge. Then what?
I really don't know how to explain.
Well, you better start talking or you'll be sorry!
You don't want to make things any more difficult for yourself, do ya?
Be my guest.
Uh-huh. That sure didn't sound like a fancy metaphor or anything.
How did you know?
There's no use hiding it now. Yes, you're right. The academia is working on an important and potentially world-changing project. They are creating a new god. A god that will belong to them and to the people of Sumeru. It may seem as if Sumeru's academics are thriving, but ever since the withering of Irminsul has been getting worse recently. The sages have tried everything they could think of, but nothing's worked. I'm always hearing them say things like, if only Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was still with—
Continue.
And then, someone from the doctor was previously expelled from the academia. At first, the sages looked down at him in disdain. But when he asked them, do you wish—
This is what the arrogant ignorance at the extreme—
First, the academia spent a long time constructing a divine vessel, which was based on an exquisite humanoid puppet. After that, they harvested dreams via the Zeb-Zerus Festival Samsara. With the doctor's help, and the Akasha now functioning at maximum efficiency, they were able to— Next, they decided that their new god needed to possess divine wisdom. For that to happen—
It adds up.
But how do you determine whether the knowledge
Call it an educated guess? Nobody can explain the cause of this phenomenon. Surely you can see what that implies, Scribe Alhaitham. If it's knowledge no mortal can comprehend, then it must be something only gods are able to decipher.
You must have noticed by now. It is as if they are cursed with a desire for omniscience and Some organisms demonstrate phototaxis, and thus orient their entire lives in respect to sources of light. For the sages, their only source of hope is This is but a form of phototaxis.
Then what does Lesser Lord Kusanali mean to you? Is she not a true god present in this world? If you already have a new god—
From the beginning, the Academia has never treated her— When the Academia first discovered Lesser Lord Kusanali, the newborn god of wisdom, the sages hoped that she would be as wise as Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. But upon evaluation, they found that at the time she possessed no more intelligence than any ordinary human child. The sages never had a ruder— Not to mention that slowly but surely
So, this is the path.
All right, let's try to keep our cool. If everyone's in a bad— Rahman, give me a few men to help us
Sure, as you wish.
The village keepers you've found have all been returned to their homes, and each one has a dedicated caregiver to look after them. The 2 new scholars are being kept under close supervision, too.
Hey! Say something! Stop spacing out!
Come on, is there nothing left to talk about? In that case, let's all get some water and try to think about—
Or I can go fetch some snacks.
Oh! Paimon's so coming!
Do you have any plans, traveler?
Gods above, you're not talking about work, are you?
So you were still withholding some
Even though we lived through all of this firsthand,
What a whirlwind of a story.
It seems like there'll be more issues to face in the day.
Still, now's a good time to make our next move.
It's time to make a plan.
Indeed.
So, everyone.
Crush the sages and rescue our god.
Well, let's bring.
The next time we gather here,
Yep, it'll work out for sure. Woo! Whoa! Whoa! Ah. Whew.
Your memory.
Woo! Whoa! Whoa! Ah. Whew. Off we go. Faster. Candace, we're here. Has everyone arrived?
Everyone is already waiting inside.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's...
Please, wait a moment. Before attending the meeting, I hope you can promise
What do you need?
promise me that you won't commit to anything too
What do you think?
Okay.
Of course not.
Is King Deshret
It's all
really
a
gonna
bunch
come
of
back
nonsense.
From the dead?
Carving way! Everyone's here so early! But
We already discussed things a bit.
Hey, where have you been? I've missed.
Are you ready?
Very well.
are you sure this is gonna...
I gotta admit, it's bold. Color me impressed.
The point of discussion is to arrive at a solution. Let's cut the small talk and move to the next.
You're finally done.
I have some other stuff to take care of. Catch you all later. Come on, don't give me that face. I know what you're going to say.
That's what I wanted to hear. Take care. Well, Traveler, Paimon, judging from your expressions, the meeting must have been quite productive.
You can tell?
I'm not that good at scheming or strategy, but I can sense people's emotions. And based...
Paimon's a little worried. Hopefully nothing will go wrong.
To be honest, I feel... Your deeds speak for them.
Candace, we stayed back.
I'm very glad to hear that. I've said the same thing to everyone here today as I said to you when you arrived. Only when you're safe can the plan be... You're welcome. Good luck.
Let's ride!
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'll hit them!
Have you finished saying your goodbyes?
Yeah! Also, Candace told everyone...
Yes, she did. But I think my point also, our plan is not child's play. We won't be able to achieve anything if we're simply careful. We must go beyond that and fully commit ourselves to it. I hope this is clear to you.
Huh? Shouldn't you be saying something more cheerful to boost our morale right now?
Didn't we already do that during the meeting?
You can never have enough words of encouragement.
In that case, Candace can cuddle you to your heart's content while I continue to remind you of the seriousness of our situation. We all have our jobs to do, after all. It's like how some people can be put in charge of...
Speaking of the front lines, you don't look anything like a soldier.
Of course. Compared to the mercenaries, I'm merely a feeble scholar. But the advantage of not being a mercenary is that I get to stay in a safer place. Just think about that mercenary who lost...
Well...
I'm not like the...
This guy.
All intellectuals are lunatics in the eyes of fools. I'll take that as a... Do you remember the record we saw in the King Deshret ruins? It mentioned forbidden knowledge. You have a good memory. Forbidden knowledge, I think. But the Academia has always held it. Come to think of it. Perhaps the Withering. Elazar.
But Paimon thought that Irminsul's disease is what caused the withering in the sandstorms. At least, that's what Tainari told us. Wait a second. Could it be that...
Ah, you've connected the dots. The cause of Irminsul's illness may precisely be the pollution from forbidden knowledge.
But if that's the case, what should we do?
Wait. Why do you think Lesser Lord Kusanali...
You mean, it's related...
In that case, to make sure we're still on track, I would like to...
Where are we going?
To an Eremite base.
Sand surfing sounds like a blast. You know I'm up for the challenge. Carving waves! Need a surfboard? Need a surfboard?
Ah, they're here.
Huh? What are they?
I gave them some technical work.
Ah, it's the scribe. And is that the traveler I see?
How's the work going?
Ah, yes! We have fixed the devices according to your instructions. One of them is already ready for—
Aren't those devices for canned knowledge extraction?
Look here.
Huh? More canned knowledge? Are you going to put more weird stuff into her head again?
What's that look on your face?
Paimon's a little scared, but very...
That's an Anyway, we're not going to use this just yet. As I mentioned during the meeting, this knowledge capsule contains a decree I drew up in the past. The academia should also have their own copy. And according to the plan we just came up with, Traveler, I want you to record something into this capsule. Do you believe we can save Lesser Lord Kusanali? Good. Conviction is the most important part of all of this. Now, please get ready and—
You want us to record our conviction into the knowledge capsule?
Yes,
Paimon is still
I understand, but trust— because to achieve this impossible task, it sounds like you'll need to fool your own heart first.
Paimon can see the point you're trying to make.
Imagine this. We have orchestrated our plan and successfully rescued— Everything went without a hitch. Now, open your eyes. Here,
What's this?
read it out loud. It's done.
Is your head okay? Does anything hurt?
It's just a recording. There should be no negative effects.
But what was the point of doing this?
And that's perfectly fine. In any case, these capsules aren't meant to be—
Huh?
Have you forgotten? Our plan needs to account for those who have long relied on the Akasha. You may find it hard to believe, but for those people, imagine if you've been using a device like the Akasha's after all that time.
A fool?
A slave to order, and that's why rules are so— In addition, you could say that those—
Things you're interested in?
Anyway, I'm going to take those two to work.
Small
We're going to tinker with the Akasha terminal and make—
I thought we agreed on a plan. How can you go back on your word?
The plan is too radical and carries a high risk for casualties.
But it's still the best plan we have. Is a former—
I did. And that's how I saw the danger behind these so-called advantages. Hitham's plan is even more radical than I imagined.
Huh? Why are you guys arguing?
My friend, you're just in time. Why don't you help me persuade Sino?
We agreed to work out a plan at the meeting. As mercenaries, you're familiar with the local environment, so you'll take care of the specifics. But then, you went to Al-Haytham for suggestions. Had I known Al-Haytham would give you those kinds of suggestions, I would not have agreed to the plan.
Look, you already know that we're all on the same side here, don't you?
Mercenaries place a lot of importance on their bonds of friendship, but also will not hesitate to make
Seems you really do
Traveler, Paimon. This is also something you should know. Rahman's plan is to have me work with—
Wait!
We can't get through that wall easily, remember? Caravan Rebot would never let so many unregistered members of the Eremites enter Sumeru City. My plan will clear us of any possible suspicion.
That also sounds...
Doesn't Al-Haytham know how dangerous this plan is?
Of course he does. He told me. There is no perfect plan, but this... He also said that with the help of Sino and the... I never blindly trust...
If I make the arrests alone, I can control myself and prevent you from getting hurt. To make the whole thing more convincing, you'll need to resist us. I'm okay with the deaths.
I can't believe a Matra would actually care about us. I've lived a hard life, and I can say that people like you are hard to come by.
I've always treated my allies with honesty and respect. They have the right to know important things like this.
Now you're making this hard for me.
Hey, is there something we can do to... We can help fight some of the...
Sino, we have no fear of casualties. Because...
Well, not but remember, you need to follow the plan and not do anything. Since you and I...
Okay, you...
The guards should be stationed in the courtyard nearby. You can find them there.